Can anyone tell me if the picture's clear or not? On my side, it's not that clear. Let me know. Let me know if it's clear or not. Because on this side, it doesn't look too clear. Let me know. Wa alaikum salam. Jordan, can you let me know if the picture's clear or not? Is it clear or is it bad? Let me know. Blurry, yeah, it looks a bit blurry. I don't know why. Why is it blurry, man? SubhanAllah. Sorry about the quality, guys. It used to be much better than this, but for some reason it's blurry. Assalamu alaikum, Mustafa. Where? I don't know. What's up? These jinns are trying to mess with my bloody recording. It's either that or the chemists. The chemists are trying to shut down the show. Not happy with trying to shut down my own channel. Okay, I'm gonna start in a second. I'm just gonna share it to my main channel. Okay. What's the topic? The topic is people arguing over this racism situation to do with Ibraheem and Nabil and what happened after the video came out and the situation at the moment. Okay, I'm going to start. Sorry about the picture. I don't know why it's not that clear. But it's the best I can get. Inshallah, the future the videos will be much clearer. Okay. NH, Assalamu alaikum, but NH, I'm not a sheikh. Sheikh is either an old man or someone who has tons of knowledge and is in their late, most probably 70s or 80s and so forth. People like Sheikh Fawzan and Sheikh Mustin Abad and Sheikh Wasila, these are scholars. A sheikh is either an old man, yeah, or a really knowledgeable person. So, just correction there. Anyway, I'm going to start, inshallah. If you don't want to say... Okay, bro, no problem. Anyway, you lot can chat in the comments if you've got any questions or anything about racism or stuff. Put them in the comments and I'll try and answer them. So I'm going to speak for a little while. And then I'll come back to comments because they're going to distract me if I look at them right now while I'm speaking. So yeah, leave any questions you've got or so forth, or anything you want answered from when I speak, and then I'll get back to it after I finish, inshallah. But I just want to address this issue. Mustafa, I'm fine, man. Salam. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulullah. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum to everyone who's here in this room. I know it's late. Jazakallah khair for watching. Please subscribe. This is my new channel. Some jealous chemists tried to destroy my last channel because I did a video about in response to them attacking Islam. I did a video responding to one of them talking about how he prays to the elements and the sun and the moon and all these things, and they got angry, so they tried to strap my original channel down. But so for a few months I can't make any videos on it. But anyway, let's get back to the topic of tonight. So yeah, basically, I'm sure a lot of you know, if you follow me on Facebook, my Facebook is Hussein Thomas or Street Ordine. I've got 2 Facebook pages. You can follow either one of them. I'm sure, as you know, a clip came out of a brother on Eid night giving dawah, and basically in it the brother said the statement that to a bunch of Pakistani Asian brothers, stop acting black, act decent, and we have manners and so forth. That was the statement that he made. Now I know the brother. I've shared many of his works before the incident, and many of his posts and stuff, because he talks a lot against shirk and bid'ah and talks about tawheed and, you know, following the sunnah and so forth. But as I said in the video I did before this, that the words were shocking. They were upsetting. They angered me as a black person, as a black convert to Islam, and it was a poor lack of words. Now, either the brother intentionally believed that black people, yeah, are indecent and have bad manners, or it was a very poor and very irresponsible statement where he was talking about the black culture, what he considers black culture, maybe talking about rap music and so forth. Now, I don't want to go too much into this already. I've done the video about it before, you know. The videos in my the videos on my channel is called "Stop Acting Black, My Reply." So I've talked about that already, you know, and explained to him why this was, you know, it's one of 2 things: either the brother was racist, or it was a very poor lack of words, you know, because to say stop acting black, be decent, it means you make being black synonymous with being corrupt, with being awful, with being, you know, bad-mannered, you know. And like I said, black culture, most black boys work. Go Foot Locker, go Tesco's, go JD Sports, go Sainsbury's. You'll see that, you'll see black people there. Most black people work. And for every 1 drug dealer, I can bring you 20 that, you know, work and live a normal life. And also, if we was to change that term from don't act black, if we're gonna turn it to, you know, if it was a bunch of Asian boys, then he said to them, don't act Moroccan, don't act, you know, Algerian, don't act Egyptian, you know, act decent. Everyone would be outraged, because at the end of the day, Moroccan, Algerian, Egyptian is not synonymous with indecent or bad manners. But anyway, I don't want to talk about the actual video. I've talked about that in another video for about an hour. I want to talk about people's response. So basically, the video came out, and then when the video came out, there was backlash. Obviously, black people were angry, black Muslims were angry, black non-Muslims were angry. some of these Kemetic people tried to rub it in certain people's faces, saying, see, we told you your religion was racist and this, that, and the other. And as we know, the religion is not racist. Every black Muslim knows, you know, that Allah says in the Quran, we created you in different tribes and different nations to recognize each other, not to curse each other. And every black Muslim knows, yeah, that the Prophet said in his last sermon where he gathered all the Muslims together. Yeah, this is one of the most famous hadith, the Prophet's last sermon. Everyone knows that the Prophet said, peace be upon him, that Arab isn't better than non-Arab, and non-Arab isn't better than Arab, and white isn't better than black, and black isn't better than white, except in taqwa. You know, so every Muslim who follows the Quran and Sunnah, black, Jamaican, African, whatever, you know, Ethiopian, Sudanese, Somalian, we know that our religion and the text ain't racist. Because a lot of Kemetic people watch this infighting up against the Muslims, yeah, and they glee in it and they enjoy it, and they're just like, yeah, you know, see, we told you that your religion is racist, you know. But listen, if a Muslim does a racist act, we all know that the book and the Quran and the Sunnah, or what they're supposed to be following, is not racist. Yeah, so to all you Kemet, no black person, yeah, is ashamed of Islam or has an inferiority complex or believes that black Islam is racist against black people. We know, based upon knowledge, you know, that it's the truth, you know, even if some Muslims' actions go against it. And no Muslim is going to leave Islam and become a Kemet and start cooking food for his dead ancestors or giving money to his dead ancestors, which you do. Yeah, no Muslim is going to leave Islam because of any actions of any racist Muslim or any action of a Muslim that goes against Islam, you know, and leave Islam and become a Kemet and start praying, cooking food for his dead ancestors and giving his dead ancestors money, hoping that he's going to get double reward like you do. So, no one's leaving Islam and no one's going to become a Kemet. And also, we believe as Muslims that Adam was the first man, because some Kemetics keep on saying, come back to your roots, you know, come back to your he wasn't an atheist, he wasn't an atheist like the Egyptians, you know, and so forth, and he believed that all races were equal, you know, or all people that came from him were equal, yeah. So no black Muslim has an inferiority complex about Islam or believes it's racist. They know that the Quran and the Sunnah is racist free. Anyway, so the point I was going to say is that Abu Ibraheem, so he said this statement on Eid night, and basically he said this thing about black people, and then there was an outburst. You know, black people were angry, and so forth. Now, like I said, I know the brother. I've shared a lot of his talks before this incident happened. He has many things against shirk and bid'ah and, you know, deviation and stuff. So anyway, on Facebook, there was lots of posts going back and forth. So the brother must have apologized. I heard an audio where he apologized. It was very short audio. He apologized, but I think what made it worse is that the brother he made a video apology as well. Now the video apology, I didn't get to watch it myself, but from what I heard is that the brother he apologized, and it started off good, but then it started getting worse as it went along. And I saw another apology from him written in a post, and it was a little bit arrogant. He was saying, listen, I apologize, but those with diseases of the heart, and they want to hate you, and regardless of what, and so forth. It seemed like he tried to apologize, but he was like, I'm apologizing, and, you know, just take it. So that made a lot of people even more angrier. And while this was going on, basically, a lot of brothers started doing posts talking about there's another brother who's acting racist. Now this brother's not he's not a scholar or student of knowledge, meaning that he goes around giving dawah and quoting Quran and stuff like this. But he's the brother happens to be a comedian, and he's in the black community. I think he's African, so they were saying, yeah, but this brother's racist too. So look, and they started bringing evidence of him being racist to, of what they say is racist to Asians or whatever, so forth. So now you've got like two camps, you know. I will criticize Abu Ibrahim and the thing I said as a black person, you know, who's from the black community, uh, you know, who's saying certain things about the Asian community. So now in this situation where you've got, and it's not just Asians on one side and blacks on the other side, you've got a mixture. There's some Asian people who think what Abu Ibrahim done was really bad, and there's some people that think that it was a slip of the tongue, and some of them, you know, it's not just blacks on one side and Asian on one side, it's a mixture. But the problem, so the whole thing is this is the situation we're at now. Okay. Lastly, Abu Ibrahim yesterday, I think he offered a final apology, a written apology, and it basically said, look, no if, no buts, no maybe. I apologize for what I said. I'm not adding no disclaimers on it, and I apologize for my statements. It hurt people, and I don't want to defend myself. I apologize, and I think that's been the best apology he could have done. So where we are now is that there's people that are saying Abu Ibrahim's apologized, you know, get over, like he's apologized, so you should get over it. There's other people saying there's another brother in the black community who's said some racist stuff, and what about him? Why ain't no one saying about what this brother said and so forth? And it's double standards, and why ain't the black community speaking angry at what he's saying about Asians and this, that, and the other, and so forth? And there's a bit of a divide. So, what's my view on this? Asian, Jamaican, Nigerian, Pakistani, Indian. If any Muslim says anything racist about a single person or group of people, then we should condemn it. Simple. That's it. If a Asian brother says something racist, we should condemn it. If a black brother says something, we should condemn it. That's my view on the situation. This is what Islam tells us, you know. If you see an evil action, stop it with your hand. If you can't, stop it with your tongue. If you can't, hate in your heart. And that's the weakest level of human. Yeah? So that's my position on it. Yeah? Like I said, if any race says it, if a black brother says it, if I post the racist post or like it or whatever, and this is on any colour. Now, this situation, one, okay, if Abu Ibrahim, the brother who said something, yeah, and Allahu Alam if Abu Ibrahim's racist, based on this catalogue of work and what I know of him, and I've done lectures where he's been at, and I've I know he mixes with some black people and stuff like that, and look at the bulk of his wealth, Allahu Alam, I don't think he's racist, but I think he may have said something racist and suffer from a little bit of racism that even he doesn't know about. I believe it's a poor choice of words, and within that there may be some racism there that he's not aware of. But to believe the person believes the black people are scum and dirty and dunce and stinky and all this kind of stuff, I don't think so, because he mixes with black people a lot. He does talks with them and so forth, and he spends a lot of time doing talks with mixed crowds. But anyway, the whole point is this, yeah. So Abu Ibrahim made this statement. Okay, so he made that statement. Then people were saying that, what is it? Okay, he said it. He apologized, I think, straight after, or after, the next day after it went viral, because it went viral very quick. Yeah, people were like, okay, he's apologized, just accept it. Now the whole thing, listen, for you being a black person hearing that, look, he's saying to Asian people or a big crowd of Pakistanis, don't be black, be decent. It's like a knife in your heart. You know what I'm saying? It's like a knife in your heart. You know what I'm saying? Me, I know the catalogue of the brother's work. I know his lectures in detail, by name, this, that, and the other. So when I saw that clip, my heart sunk. I was like, psh. Like, how irresponsible, how rude, man. You see what I'm saying? And I'm someone who knows him. You know what I'm saying? I'm someone who's going to give him a benefit of the doubt because all I know is good of him. But when I heard that statement, it's like it dissolved all that good work he did. I just thought, psh. Next time I see him in public, I can't even look the guy in the face. It's like whether it was intentional or unintentional, the statement that we heard, every black person, when they hear that, it's like a knife in the heart. Like, you made us synonymous with indecent. Okay, so then he apologized after it went viral because it went viral quick. Yeah. So then people were saying like, he's apologized. You should accept it. You should get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's apologized for it. You should just accept it. And like I said in my last video, is that it's not that easy. Someone insults your mum in your face. You may forgive them. You may forgive them. Yeah, and say, I'd accept your Toba and this, that, and the other, and so forth. But it's still gonna hurt you. And when you see that person, it's still gonna upset you. People keep on mentioning a situation when the person was racist towards Bilal, but they didn't take into consideration that the person who was racist to Bilal, when Bilal told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the person said, "Oh, you son of a black woman." When they said that to Bilal, they went to the Prophet. When the Prophet heard, his face went red, and then he told the man that you still have traces of Jahiliyyah in you. Then that man said to Bilal, he put his head in the sand and he said, I will not remove my head until you step over it. So people keep on focusing that Bilal went to the Prophet when the person, that Bilal complained to the Prophet and Bilal forgave him, because when the man put his head in the sand, Bilal said, how can I step over the head of someone, who prostrates to Allah? So they say, listen, Bilal complained to the Prophet told the man off, the Sahaba, he put his head in the ground, and he basically said, I will not pull my head out of the sand until, you step over me. And then Bilal responded and said, how can I step over the head of someone who prostrates to Allah? Yeah? But that's the thing. Abu Ibraheem, the brother, his first response, by video, it wasn't like that, Sahaba. So people say that, okay, someone did something wrong, and we have this story where someone was racist towards Bilal, and they said, why can't Bilal accepted his apology? But the brother's apology wasn't like that of the companions. And I'm not going into this detail, I'm just doing a timeline of what happened. So you can't use that analogy. But the brother apologized enough times, and his last apology, I believe, was the best thing he could do. He just said, I'm sorry, no if, no buts, and no maybes, done. So then people started saying, but there's another brother who's being racist, and he said worse than Ibrahim or equal to Ibrahim on different occasions. Okay, the thing is this: if this other brother has been racist when he was racist, yeah, it should have been dealt with. Someone should have said something and so forth. Because if he said something racist, then it's wrong, regardless of whether he's black or any other color. Okay, but I don't understand why people are bringing it up now. Like, okay, Abu Ibrahim had this incident. He said something was racist, intentionally or unintentionally. Why does it matter that someone else has been racist? What's the correlation? There's no Abu Ibrahim done something. If this guy was racist when he was racist, it should have been dealt with. Okay, but now people are saying, bring it up. So are we saying that because someone else was from the black community was racist, that this issue or a while ago, this thing shouldn't be addressed? Doesn't make sense. Secondly, Abu Ibrahim, the brother, is a student of knowledge. He's not a dumb brother. He's not Jahil. Yeah, he's not Jahil of the religion, and he's not dumb. He's intelligent. Yeah. So, and he was doing the Eid speech. He must have planned that speech. So, it's not the same too. The statements coming from a student of knowledge, yeah, who is known as a da'i and stuff like that, and this statement of a brother who's not a student of knowledge, and is an Islamic figure, like he's a comedian. Yeah, in fact, most people like he's not an Islamic figure. Yeah, so the whole thing is that at the end of the day is that they're both wrong and they should be both be addressed whenever they say something racist. But you can't compare a student of knowledge compared to a layman. Like, it's totally two things. They should be both, and like I said, it should be addressed. If the black brother said something and it was racist, or it should be addressed regardless of who he is, whether he's a scholar, the student of knowledge, or just an average person. It should never go unaddressed. Yeah? But when a student of knowledge is racist and the average layman is racist, it's not the same thing. So the whole thing is that anyone that's racist, it should be addressed. So the whole thing is now people are just in two camps. One saying black people are racist, and the other people say Asian people are racist, and it's just got messy. Yeah? Okay. And people are saying that. Then people just say, look, Islam isn't racist, and we just need to get along with each other. Okay, that's true to some degree, that Islam is not racist, and the Quran and Sunnah is not racist. I agree. But there's sometimes when it is relevant, and this issue has to be solved. I'll tell you why. For example, say you're Jamaican Muslim, yeah? Jamaica is mainly a Muslim country, and the vast majority of Jamaicans are Christians. Yeah. Okay. Now the majority of masjids in London, I don't know about the rest of England, but the majority of masjids in London are run by Hanafis. Yeah, Asian Hanafis. So the whole thing is that now, if a convert brother, wants to get married, and he goes to a masjid, it really does matter. It really doesn't matter if there's racism, because if you're born into a Muslim family, whether it's Turkish, it's Iranian, whether it's Moroccan, it's Somalian, it's Egyptian or Moroccan or Algerian, like, alhamdulillah, you could go to family, you know what I'm saying? You could go to family and ask them if they know anyone as sister or brother to get married. Yeah, because alhamdulillah, you like, people got different contacts, and I'm sure there's obviously a Turkish community, there's a Moroccan community, there's an Asian community, there's a, Moroccan community, an Algerian community. If you're a Jamaican convert and you want to get married, there's not a big Jamaican community, Yeah, you have a lot of Jamaican converts in Islam, yeah. Like hundreds of people are becoming Muslim stuff, but there's not like they're spotted all over in different places. Yes? And there may be a few Jamaican masjids, but the vast majority in London, it's not like that. The vast majority, I would say 95% or 95 to 98% of the masjids are, especially in London, South London, and London in general, I would say they're generally Hanafi masjids run by Pakistanis. So say now a Jamaican brother converts to Islam, he's on his deen, he's married, he's educated, he's got a good job, he wants to get married now. Yeah? It's a problem if he can't get married, because he can't go to his own community, he can't go to the Jamaican community to get married, because at the end of the day, it's not built like that, Most Jamaicans are not Muslims. Even alhamdulillah, it's growing in Jamaica, and masjids are being built and a lot of people are converting. But it's not like the Asian community. So the whole thing is that when brothers keep on going to get married and there's an issue, yes, Islam is perfect. Yes, what is it? Yes, the Quran is against racism. Yes, the Sunnah is against racism. But if you're a convert and you're trying to get married and so forth, and most of the masjids happen to be Asian, and don't get me wrong, I believe amongst the Asian community, the racism is mainly against the elders, the uncles, the elder uncles, not the youth. Yeah, I know there is, even looking at this situation has shown me that there's some young Asians that are racist, but I think the vast majority are the old elderly uncles and this, that, and so forth. And I believe the Asians, that a lot of them that grew up in this country, yeah, they, especially the young ones, they're not racist because they mix with blacks. But this is just my opinion. It's not color or so. It's not a last said in a messenger said. So you could agree with it or disagree with it. But the point is this: is that so yes, in reality, Islam, yes, is not racist. The Quran and Sunnah is not racist and stuff like this. But there is a situation. There is a situation that certain people's racism can affect other people's lives. Yeah. So if you're a Jamaican person, you want to get married, and most of the masjids are Asian masjids, and there's racism in them, and they're going into the masjid to get married, and the uncles and stuff are not allowing them to get married and stuff like that. Then there's a problem, you know. And look, this whole universe, this whole dunya, yeah, has been affected by white supremacy. And I have nothing against brothers. Like I said, if you don't believe that white and blacks are equal, and you don't believe that Arab and non-Arab are equal, it means you're rejecting the ayats of the Quran and the Hadith, yeah, of the Prophet Sallallahu. And if you sincerely believe that you're better than someone because of your skin, then it's going to take you take you out of Islam, and you're going to become a kafir. So I believe 100% that whites and blacks are all equal, and I believe that a lot of white brothers and so forth do practice are nice brothers, and they treat you well, yeah. But we can't escape the fact that the reality is that in the Western world, forget the Western world, in this universe, yeah, white supremacy has affected all of the world, whether they conquered it or not, or whether they infiltrated it through TV and stuff like that. Everywhere you go in this dunya, the lighter you are, the more you're raised up in society. Yes, so we can't get away from that fact. Even certain countries that haven't been literally physically conquered by England and or America, this that and the other, through TV and stuff like that, they're being indoctrinated. Yeah. So let me give you a certain example how this racism affects us. Look, certain races, yeah, have good stereotypes. Yeah. So for example, white people, they have good stereotypes. Wherever you go in the world, people want to be white, and they have good stereotypes. They're supposed to be they're known as hardworking, educated, civilized, and so forth. Even Chinese people, they have good stereotypes. They're brainy, they're hard workers, they say. Asians as well. I know they have bad stereotypes like grooming gangs, but they also have positive stereotypes. For example, Asians have the stereotype that they're educated, they come from, they're raised well and so forth. Unfortunately, black people, they only have bad stereotypes. That's it. They only have bad stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? And from the school system, like I said in my last video, from the school system, we're taught that our history is bam. You were a slave, yeah, a wild beast. We enslaved you, and then we freed you. That's it. That's our history. You know what I'm saying? That you was a wild person in Africa. We enslaved you, yeah, and we took you to America, and we took you to different parts of the world, and then eventually we freed you. This is our history. Nothing about before where we had empires and affluent societies and so forth. Even on the news. I grew up in London, before any racist people watch this and say, go back where you came from. I was born in this country. From being a kid to the age I am now, not once have I ever seen a positive image of Africa ever on the news or in any program. Yeah. I only have two images in my head of my life here on Earth of Africa. You know, one is like skinny babies with big bellies with flies around them. Yeah, and the other image is some people in a busted jeep, with rags on their head and waving guns. That's the only two images I had from Africa in my whole life growing up in this first world democracy. And I'm black myself. Yeah, but in Africa they have shopping malls, they have affluent areas, they have doctors, they have lawyers, they have skyscrapers, but you never see that. So the whole point I want to say is that look, yes, there's racism. Everyone suffers from some kind of racism. I agree with you, but white supremacy and racism has conquered the whole world. Yes, and including the Muslim world. Yeah, and it's all good to see. It's okay if you're Pakistani. Yes, I'm sure there's black people that's racist. I'm sure there's black people that are racist. You know, but the thing is this, like I said to you, you know, Asians have a community. You know, Moroccans they have a community, a Muslim community. You know, Algerians they have a Muslim community. You know, um, Turkish people have a Muslim community. If you're a black Muslim, yeah, you have to, and you're Jamaican or something, or you're Reva and so forth. Yeah, Africans they do have a community. They do have a community. But say you're a Jamaican person now, and most of the masjids are Asian and so forth, and now you want to get married and you go and you come up against racism. Not one time, not two times, not three times, not four times, 10 times, and so forth. But yeah, when a white person converts, like everyone's like, we want to marry you, we want to marry you to our daughters, we want to marry you, and so forth, you know, and so forth. Like I said, when uncles are being racist to you and stuff like that and so forth, and you got a job, you know, so you're practicing, you're educated and so forth, there's an issue, you know. So anyway, the whole point that I wanted to say is that look, this whole situation with the brother Abu Ibraheem and Nabil, you know, the point is this: if someone's racist, whatever kind of they are, it should be addressed. You know, whether that person is a scholar, a student of knowledge, or just an average Muslim, it should be addressed anyway. Yes, but there's a double responsibility on people who are students of knowledge and are known for giving dawah and speaking out against shirk and bid'ah and all this kind of stuff. Because why they're not they seek knowledge. You know, they're known as someone that represents the deen. You know, if I see the average boy on road, Muslim boy on road swearing or, walking with a spliff behind his ear or this, that, and the other, I think it's bad. But it's not going to be the same as if I see a student of knowledge do it. You can't compare the two. You know what I'm saying? It's wrong. Yes, it's bad, and it's a bad example of of a normal Muslim, you know, you know, who's known to be a Muslim to be doing evil acts. But when a person of knowledge, a scholar or a student of knowledge and so forth, it makes it a million times worse. Now, Abdul Ibrahim, I think his last apology was the best way. He just, look, no if, no buts, no maybes. I said something, it was irresponsible, it was wrong, and I apologize. That's what he should have just done the first time. And as for the people, the brothers and sisters that say, look, just get over it. He's apologizing, this, that, and the other. You can't rush someone, yeah. Like, even if someone does accept his tawbah or whatever, you can't rush someone to heal. The statement that he made was huge. It was bad, you know. Don't act black, act decent. Come on, man. Come on. You know, and even me, like I said, I know his full catalogue of his work. I know most of his lectures. And I shared them. Anyone that follows me on Facebook or this, I know about him in context. But still, what was said. And it's painful, you know. And wallahi, just by saying, look, he apologized, get over with it, and trying to rush us to get over it, one, it's annoying, and two, it just shows that you have no compassion or empathy for the pain that went against black people. But he's apologized. Some people are gonna forgive him. Some people are gonna take into context his other works. Some people are not gonna forgive him. Whatever. But if you're not black, the best thing you could do, yeah, is just make dua for the black people that were hurt by what he said because they had a right to be hurt. As for bringing up what a black person has said when another person has been racist and saying that, um, yeah, he said something racist, but this was a one off, and this brother was racist, and he says racist things against this community and stuff. You're right. If a brother's saying stuff that's racist, it should be addressed. It should be addressed, and it should be uh, responded to, and so forth. But don't, when a racist incident happens, always use is that okay, this person says something racist, but this black person says something racist. So let's leave it at that. If that's the case, then people are never gonna apologize when they make a mistake and they're racist because they say, well, this person did say something racist, but so has a black person said something racist. So, you know, there's no need for him to apologize. That doesn't even make sense. Anyone that says anything racist should be addressed, and you shouldn't promote that person's racist works and so forth, and you should join in with it, and you shouldn't like it, and you shouldn't share it on any side, whether they're black, white, yellow, or alien. Yeah, so that's my two takes on it, and I'll just say, listen, at the end of the day, this is a sign to all of us that just just be careful, of the words you use. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. There's many Asian brothers that I'm around a lot. Yeah, like sometimes I'll be an Asian guy, I'll be in a car with some brothers, practicing brothers who I love for the sake of a lot Asians. Yeah, and when they're joking with each other and stuff and talking and stuff like that, they refer to each other in front of me, and they use the words PAKI. The term paki. Now, I would never say that word or use that word, even though they say around me all the time to each other, and they're comfortable with saying that to each other. Yeah, many times I talk to Asian youth, I've never once thought should I use this term to to explain the conversation my friends have in a car, or for whatever reason. I've never thought to use it because I know if I say that word, yeah, there's going to be a backlash from the Asian community. Why? Because they're saying, okay, listen, even though, uh, what is it? Even though we use this word against us, yeah, amongst each other, yeah, you don't have the right to do it because you're not Pakistani, and I understand that, you know. And as a da'i, we should think about what we're saying. We should think of what we're saying more than the average person, you know. And that's what I'm saying. That this is advice to everyone, especially Asian brothers that are giving dawah to our Asians. Yeah, is that look, when you're gonna do an Eid speech, you know you're gonna have a big amount of Asian youth there, and prepare your speech. And that's the thing I don't understand is that the brother, he knew he was gonna speak to a big group of people, and he must have prepared his speech. So you have to be very careful about what you say, because as you see, one day the thing will viral. So the whole thing is at the end of the day, just be careful with your words and so forth that you use, because anything you say, any speech you do nowadays, any actions you do, there's a camera somewhere watching you, even if you can't see it. So yeah, I end with that. Inshallah. Uh, I'm gonna inshallah check the comments and see if there's anything that I missed out. Okay. No, for the Muslim majority comes to. Okay, I'm just looking for your comments, yeah? Okay. Okay, so I'm just going through the comments. The first question was one brother said, brother Jordan said that he's white and he hasn't experienced any racism. I could be different, yeah, but I've seen this many times, yeah. I've seen many times um, that even white people say that, look, when you're white, yeah, and you try to get married into an Asian family, a lot of people, I know quite a few Asian white brothers that are married to Asian brothers. I know very few black, I know very few black brothers that are married to Asian sisters. And that's not through lack of trying. That's through them being turned down and stuff. You know, and I've heard white brothers said this, but you may disagree, you may agree. You know what I'm saying? Some people are saying that white people, they have problems with marrying into the um, Asian families. You know, from what I know, okay, I know quite a few brothers that um, white brothers that are married to Asian sisters. Um, and so forth. But I hardly know very hardly any black brothers that are. But brothers, because see, brothers could accuse me of being racist by saying that. I'm just being honest with what I'm saying. If you disagree, put it in the comments. Let me know. And like I said to you, white people, that's what I'm saying. This is bigger than just religion. Certain cultures have positive stereotypes. Yeah, we know. Yeah, I'm not being racist. White supremacy is everywhere. Any country you go to, people, the lighter you are, the better it is off for you. Yeah. Well, this, what I'm saying, even this thing has reached certain black people where the lighter black you are, the more you are in TV and entertainment world and this, that, and the other, the easier your chances are because light, lighter skin is seen as better. This is just a fact, you know? Okay. Uh, okay. Okay, brother NH said that what Abu Ibrahim said was wrong. I agree it's a form of jahiliyyah. I don't think he meant it in a malicious way, but in Birmingham, the term used a lot, acting black. See, I don't think, based upon what I know about Abu Ibrahim from his works and this, that, and the other, and trying to do a lot of work with the youth, I don't think he's a racist. But it was really, 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 really irresponsible. And I don't believe he's intentionally racist, but I believe that he may be subconsciously have some racist thoughts. And it's not just him. I think anyone that grows up in England, yeah, grows up in England has some subcultural racism. For example, that's what I say to you. I'm black here. I'm black. I grew up in this country, and the only two images I've had of Africa is like skinny babies with big bellies with flies around them, and you know, people on jeeps with guns in their hands with flags on their head. Now that's a negative view that I held about Africa for a long, long time until I became Muslim and started seeking knowledge and started talking to different people and started watching independent documentaries and stuff that were not based on ITV and Channel 4 and mainstream media. And I'm telling you, I never watch the mainstream news now unless I go to my mom's house and it's on. I never watch mainstream news because it's just rubbish. That's what I'm saying to you. But me, sincerely, as a black person, and I love being black and I love um, the colour of my skin and so forth, yeah. Growing up in this country, I had negative racist thoughts about Africa, meaning that I thought Africa was just rubble and a despot. But they have affluent societies in Africa, shopping malls and skyscrapers and stuff. But so think about that, and I'm black, so obviously even a white person or Asian person growing up in this country, yeah, he's gonna suffer from subtle forms of racism. Okay, So I don't believe Abu Ibrahim, I don't believe Abu Ibrahim is a racist because I don't believe he would do programs and stuff and like amongst black people and share panels with black people and you know and so forth. But the statement was just hugely irresponsible. I haven't even got the words to explain like how it felt when I saw it. So I don't believe he's like a Hitler racist and this that and that, but I just believe he done like huge amount of damage with not thinking about what he's saying, and he has to, you know what I'm saying. He has to think. Like I said, most black boys work. You go Foot Locker, you go JD, you go Tesco's, the same. But you see black boys working. For every one black boy that's working, I could bring you about 20, 30. You know, sorry, for every one black boy that's a robber or a drug dealer, or whatever, and so forth. I could bring you 20, 30 that work. That work. You know, the vast majority of people in this country are white people. So by logic, they're gonna be the most, they're gonna be the biggest amount of criminals because you know they're the majority of people in the country. You go Glasgow, you know what I'm saying? Not every, you know what I'm saying? There's criminals, young white criminals, you know, and so forth. So you know, to say stop acting black, act decent, you know, most people didn't mean it like that, but that's what I'm trying to say. The statement was irresponsible. I'm an African Muslim, Mustafa thing. I'm an African Muslim. We do have a lot of racism within African society between Africans. Racism exists. Uh, yeah, I don't deny that Africans amongst their own tribes and stuff have their own have their own have their own racism amongst each other. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Racism, I believe, as we know, Shaitan is the first racist. And he said to Adam that he will not bow down to him because Adam is made of clay and he's made of fire. So I wouldn't surprise that mankind, they have racism amongst themselves. So I'm not surprised that Africans are racist towards each other. No, shit, okay, Clown said the same thing as Abu about victim mentality. Mr. Abdi, Kalam says the same thing about Abu Ibrahim about victim mentality. Mr. Abdi, can you make it clearer? Because I need to know more about the information on you're saying. He said the same thing about Abu Ibrahim about victim mentality. Do you mean by that he said that black people... Elaborate on what you're saying, Mr. Abdi. Are you saying that when he said it and he apologized, he said black people are playing the victim? I don't know. I don't want to assume what you're saying, so elaborate on it and I'll answer it later on. Abu Bilal put a message, but the message has been taken away. Kingdom of Boxing, that's culture. No, real talk. I'm Bengali and the Bangladeshi elders could be very racist. Yeah, 7th clone said, I'm Bengali and the elders could be very racist. Yeah, elder people. You know, sometimes, you know, they got a lot of racism with them. You know, that's what I believe. I believe the Asian youth that grow up here amongst blacks and whites and stuff like this, and anyone that grows up here, Muslim, Moroccan, this, that, and the other, Algerian, Somali, this, that, and the other, and so forth. It's hard to be racist when you grow up amongst people and you mix. It's very hard, you know. That's why the Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you know, join your feet. You know, he was like, when you come to prayer, you know, join your feet, you know, feet to feet, ankle to ankle, shoulder to shoulder, so that shaitan doesn't cause your heart to indiffer. And this is what happens. Is I did a video about this ages ago, you know, that yeah, what is it? Yeah, when you go to some of these Hanafi masjids, yeah, and you go to pray, the old uncles, the look they give you when you go to pray, the first line is like, you little Like monkey, get out of the front line. And I don't want to hear all this difference about this thick difference between the madhabs and stuff about joining your feet or that. It's authentically narrated that the Prophet said, pray ankle bone to ankle bone, shoulder to shoulder. So it doesn't matter what your madhab says. All of the four imams said if you find opinion hadith of the Prophet that goes or ayah of the Quran that goes against my opinion, yeah, or my conclusion or whatever, then throw it against the wall. Don't take it, you know. So it doesn't matter about madhab this and madhab that. The fact is the Prophet said join, when you go to pray, straighten the lines, make sure you pray feet to feet, ankle bone to ankle bone, and shoulder to shoulder. So it doesn't matter about your madhab. Because people say, the reason why the uncles in the masjid, they don't join the feet is because the Hanafi madhab. We don't care about that. You see what I'm saying? We care about what the Prophet said and what the companions did. So the whole thing is that trying to use this excuse, and I know, as a person, when someone's looking at you phrasing, this is not a thick difference. It's not like, okay, I disagree with you because there's more dalil with not joining your feet. There's the look they give you, and when you move your feet next to them, they move it away like you got leprosy or something. Like they jump away from you. You've come on, man. And is it a thick difference when it comes to marriage as well? When they keep on telling brothers down who working, they're black working, and they're educated, yeah. They even maybe came back from Medina and stuff like that, and they won't marry them. Is it because a thick difference as well? And so there's a thick difference about marrying black people. Come on, man. Sometimes we've got to be honest. Like I said, black people can be racist too. I'm not saying they're not, but this thick difference is it's a weak. Kingdom of Boxing said, stop talking about racism now, it's getting boring. Hey bro, no one forced you to be on this video. No one forced you to be on my Facebook, no one forced you to be on this video. You can go, there's a million other things you can do if you find it boring. You can get out of there. I have never been Mustafa. I've never been a victim of Asian racism. However, since this subject is always brought up, it means I am just an exception. Okay. Oh, H&N, Assalamu alaikum, Akhi. Put this channel in the main channel. Assalamu alaikum, Akhi. Put this channel in your main channel section of your main channel so it reaches more people. That's very smart thing, H&N. Thank you. May Allah reward you. Jazakallah khair. Okay. Okay, so basically, I think that's all the messages. Okay, so I think I've answered all the messages. Jazakallah khair. It's very, very late. Thank you for staying up, and thank you for listening to this. Inshallah, Jazakallah khair. If you've got any more questions, put them there, or either that, I'm gonna wrap it up. Cause man's got work in the morning. Thanks for the live stream to make fun of. I don't know what that means. PewDiePie.black. Yeah, so anyway, subscribe to this channel because, like I said, my other channel's not up at the moment. It's not going to be up to the end of August. Yeah, and if you found this video any benefit, then share it. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.